Hi, I'm Mariana Danilovich, founder of Infium. We're running the BNB Chain and Infium Founders Academy, which runs for 12 weeks, and we're in week 6. And today we actually have 2 presenters from the Academy, and Stella Zhu is our venture capital investor reviewer of the presentation. We'll go to Pavel for the next presentation.
Pavel, CEO and co-founder of Trendsetter. Before I dive into the pitch deck and the presentation, some very brief introduction about myself and my background. Been in the Web3 space from the early beginning, part of another project actually that I founded, gamified social network, Quende. That was one of the first, if not the first, European social network with an integrated Web3 wallet. On that venture, I raised around 18,000 ethers, plus another 2.5 in equity rounds. And that project was declared actually the cleanest ICO in Switzerland in 2018. Personally, in a way, I've been designing and developing consumer-based products for the last 10 years. Working and managing a team of almost 100 people with great talent from Europe, especially from Romania, where I'm based. In the last 7 years or so, I've been obsessed in a way with understanding consumers' behaviors, what are the next trends, and I've been waiting for the right time in which Web3 will kind of shift the attention towards consumers' apps now that, let's say, the layers and the protocols have a foundation. And last but not least, before my journey as an entrepreneur, I used to be a professional gamer. So anything related to gamification, onboarding, user experience is in my blood. So happy, Sue, to find out more about your gaming experience as well. So for the presentation, for us, Trendsetter is shopperverse for influencers with the long-term vision of making any spender a trendsetter. To dive into these statements a bit and how we position ourselves from a Web3 perspective, we are a socialFi platform where people earn by spending money and sharing their experiences. And we define Trendsetter from Trendsetter as anyone that can create a networking marketing effect within their own shopping spree. socialFi is the combination between social commerce and fintech, and Shopperverse is our version, our digital bridge for brands, influencers, and shoppers towards the Web3 and the metaverse. It's loading in slow motion. Okay. Our positioning from a, let's say, problem perspective is a bit different because we are tackling 2 big problems, but also 2 big opportunities. But as a whole, it offers our solution, right? So the Trendsetter is addressing 2 major problems within the Web2 space. One is the non-existing, to not say broken, omni-channel for brands and e-commerce in general. And the second one is the big elephant in the room, the almost 3 trillion global counterfeit market for goods, and especially luxury goods. And those 2 combined describe a major problem for shoppers, which is their loss of credibility and trust issues, and generally the way they shop. The opportunities in this space is that moving forward, we are addressing a new wave of shoppers, which are digital shoppers, digital natives, the Generation Z, and they come with different type of demands and different types of expectations and behaviors. And this is important because it is tied up into our long-term future for the next 5 to 7 years, which means the metaverse. And the metaverse, based on a McKinsey report, which 5 trillion will be generated by the metaverse in general. But for us, it's important that half of that almost will be generated by e-commerce. So that's where we are positioning ourselves. From a solution perspective, if you may, I don't know why it's loading in. Okay. Our solution is designed as a connected omni-channel that in a way acts like a Web 2 to Web 3 bridge for brands, online marketplaces, and especially for shoppers. And to glue it all together, we nurture our own influencers, but also working with influencers and TikTok houses in what we like to call TikTok for shopaholics. From another perspective, to, let's say, create a 360 solution for all of the problems, and to empower trust, authenticity, and ownership of products. We have also developed the NF chip, which is an anti-counterfeiting technology that not only protects, let's say, our brand partners' products and their consumers, but it has also the purpose to create a long-lasting and active relationship, I would say, between brands and consumers. And from a backend perspective and Web3 perspective, this acts like a digital certificate of authenticity on top of the blockchain. So the combination between digital and physical, between software and hardware, offer us a unique go-to-market strategy, actually. And we define this in a three-phase type of approach. And this is for the next 3 to 5 years, in which phase one that we are right now is how we can bring shoppers and brands to our solution. And we figure out that if we are tapping into the mall traffic, that's the fastest and cheapest way to get traffic and user acquisition. So for us, we are already discussing with a lot of mall chains in Europe and US. And this phase is about partnering with mall chains, is about integrating brands, and is about gamifying the entire experience for the shopper. Moving forward, the next step will be to onboard the e-commerce marketplaces, right? And for that, we are designing a plug-and-play solution in which they are pushing their best or most valuable or whatever their criteria are products into our online catalog that we are doing for malls. And we are creating a find and match type of approach or a pick and collect for them based on their preferences. So there is an AI component to that, but I'm not using this as only as a buzzword. And last but not least, very importantly, we envision that in 3 years from now, metaverse will not be just something that we are talking about. It will be the beginning of the new normal. And the final phase of our go-to-market is to take phase one and phase two in a way, right? So all of the foot traffic and all of the community that we gather from malls. And it's important here on malls because in average, a mall from a not well-developed country has 20 million yearly unique visitors. A mall from France, for example, or Spain, has maybe 100 million unique visitors, right? So we are tapping into that. And we are taking that community, then we are taking the e-commerce marketplaces and bringing them to Web3 in our global shoppertainment environment. The go-to-market defines from the start our business model, and especially our business model for phase one, right, for the brick and mortars. And that is subscription based on value, which ranges for $200 worth of the subscription up to $2,000. And basically how this works is that we charge a brand for one mall, right? So if, for example, Adidas has presence in 10 malls and we are onboarded with those 10 malls, we charge Adidas 10 times or $1,000, for example, of subscriptions, right? So it's subscriptions per brand per mall. Then the second model is a sales commission, in which we take 10% of all of the generated sales that we are creating with Trender. And from that 10%, we give 30% to the influencers that are helping us, and I will dive right away into that. And last but not least, for the Web3 environment, we have the NFT shopping bags, which I have a dedicated slide for this at the ending of the presentation. But how this works is that every shopper, from default, will have a Web3 wallet. And on top of this, if he wants to have a customized or branded wallet, he will have to pay for that. And also another model that we are exploring is to have a retainer from mall chains to onboard them, right? Initially, we're going to start with 1 or 2 malls to prove the concept that we are not going to charge for. But then between $2,000 and $50K yearly will be like a license-based subscription for malls to use our service and our know-how and our community. We are building this on BNB for many reasons, but more importantly is that everyone has a clear understanding of what's in it for them, right? So shoppers, in a way, have this loyalty program with our token, have cashbacks, digital coupons that are unique, cannot be counterfeiting, because that's another problem that we are solving, but I didn't put it in the previous slides. And NFTs, they can trust the ownership with the certificate of authenticity that we have. And in a way, they are early adopters that will have a lot of perks and benefits in our shopperverse. Influencers have a lot of ways to monetize with Web3 features. We have a dedicated token for them that has also some DAO elements into it. And this is only for them, not for investors, not for shoppers, not for users. And brands also benefit out of this because everything will create a universal reward program. They can track the secondary market from the counterfeiting perspective in a way, right? So they can see the ownerships and all of the transfers. And they have access to the entire network of Web3 shoppers and influencers on our shopperverse. The next 3 slides are divided into the perspectives from each our entities, the influencers, the consumers, shoppers, right, and the brands. And from an influencer perspective, we learned a lot in the last few years from models that work and were very successful. And from an influencer perspective, from them, the way let's say social commerce works right now, live streaming in shopping, is that usually they stay at home, they pick some products, they have a script, and the problem with that is even if they do a great job, when people or their followers want to buy, that's where that broken omni-channel happens, right? It's very difficult to land to the brand to make an order. Some maybe less than 10% actually manage to buy something, even though they like it when they see it on an influencer. So the model for this is like we call it Costco for trenders, in which the influencers will choose from different type of curated products that brand will provide. And they will work together with brands in order for them to have the proper material to share this. Then we like to say that we sell like Pinduoduo model. And the reason that Pinduoduo, the Chinese company, exploded and was very successful was based on the fact that they were targeting even small audiences, right? So family and friends in a way. And with a group of people, you were able to buy directly from the manufacturers. So for them, that they were the platform that offered that. And we want to copy the model in which everyone has a Telegram group, everyone has a mini group, right? We are not talking about celebrities right now. So we want to take that in account and create this type of networking effect in which you are promoting products and get a better offer to your group. And from a, let's say, user experience perspective and front-end perspective, for an influencer would be like a TikTok for shopaholics, in which with some gamified features that we have and TikTok doesn't, we are like an entertainment platform for them in which they have to bring and turn their social power into cash. And also very interesting here, and I won't be spending a lot of time into this, but from influencer journey, everything starts from the bottom, right? So everyone is a shopper and everyone has an opportunity from a shopper to become a trender, right? And then to become a brand ambassador. And this is where we come in a way, to help them, to nurture them from zero to hero in a way. But from a shopper's perspective, it's all about smooth onboarding in Web3. It's all about rewards, move to earn, play to earn, spend to earn, initially in the shopping malls, right? So when you turn up your tracker, you will start earning just because you're in the mall and you're walking. Digital coupons, some mini games that we will develop, right? So like a Tinder for shopping. And ultimately, in 2-3 years from now, we see this as a digital large mall, right? In the metaverse space, a combination between AR and VR. And last but not least is the brand's perspective, which see us more technically and more on the backend perspective. And now they operate in the social commerce in Web 2. And we already have developed on the backend solutions like Amazon and Shopify for our journey, right? But our value proposition for them is that we take this and bringing the front end part, spicing it up with some Web3 and gamification, and that's our socialFi solution for brands. This is very more than interesting, unique, and gets me excited because this is our secret sauce in a way, right? So the Trendon NFT shopping bag is something that every user will have from the start. And this acts, it's a utility type of token of NFT. It's all about its utility. It acts like profile, storage of data, wallet. It offers you a direct communication with brands, and also a type of concierge in malls. And I said in the beginning how NFT bags are one of our revenue streams and business model potentially. And on that, an example is that, for example, if we were working with Gucci and they are one of our partners and create a limited edition of bags supported by or backed by NFTs, anyone who has that will be in this private group and will have private access to Gucci, unique discounts, unique offers, and also Gucci will have a direct communication channel with them. Very fast on the product rollout. It's a 3-step approach in a way. We firstly digitalize more visitors and put them on Web3, right? We bring them different types of engagements that they already do. They spend, they move, and the teenagers, right? Gen Z also play in malls. This is proven. And then we figured it out how to monetize everyone in a live stream type of environment in which our influencers, initially trained one and professional ones, sell and have a commission, and that's another revenue stream for us. And Trender Live, it's again a combination on the front end on a TikTok type of environment, and everything from logistics and purchasing and payments and everything from a backend perspective. And that we have already done. And from a user perspective, and this is valuable for me because I'm all about user experience, we want to make everything fun again for shoppers, and everything should be treated as an adventure, especially in the beginning when we are onboarding our users. As mentioned, and our target audience, Generation Z, they know everything about blockchain, crypto, NFTs, even though they don't understand what Web3 is, but it's a huge market, and most importantly, the parental spending power is very big. So this is how we want to position ourselves and start with. What we are looking for right now is actually a 1 million pre-seed round for equity and tokens. We have secured almost half of that in some soft commitments in a way. So we are looking to close that round as fast as possible, because we want to launch this for the Christmas holidays and Christmas season in a way, especially in malls. That would be great. We've done a lot of things in the last 3 years, from research, development, backend solutions, and the fund will mainly be used, half of that in a way to develop our front-end client, and the rest is to launch in 2 malls. One of it will be a mall chain in Romania. The reason behind Romania is that I'm here, I have strong relationships here, the cost will go way down because of that. Malls will offer us their advertising space, but we still need some funds to work with influencers, to pay influencers in order for them to go to malls and live stream from malls, which is a unique position from our point of view. The projections and the growth are based only on phase 1, which is about brick and mortar. So please keep in mind that here is not any type of subscription from e-commerce. Onboarding e-commerces, marketplaces here are not in this. Any advertisement in the metaverse environment is not here. So this is based only on working closely with mall and brands. And as I mentioned, right, in Romania, for example, there are 20 million yearly visitors, and we are starting very, very slow to prove it everything, right? So 1% of that we want to tap in the first year, even if it's more than doable, we want to start from that, because once proven the concept, if we are in a mall chain, scaling is way small, because in Europe, for example, any mall chain has between 50 and 60 malls. So if we are into one and we do our job right, it's very easy to scale from that. Team, all-rounders. We are from the beginning in the Web3 space. Some of our co-founders are working with malls for the last 10 years or so, have built a lot of CRM, ERP, backend solutions for major retailers and brands in Europe. Security-wise, we are bulletproof. We've done a lot of products and user experience products, so we have the proper setup to move this forward. And also on the advisory part, we have strong people that help us. Actually, the lead singer of Rammstein will use this for his brand. And our mentors are something very valuable for us, because we are working closely with the godfathers, I would say, of the retail industry, that were from the very beginnings of Zara, the former director of Inditex. So every time we freestyle with our ideas, those guys keep us on the reality check, and that's very, very valuable for us. And very fast, 2-3 minutes on the token side. The Trender token is designed for the community as incentives for the different actions, as discounts, airdrops, purchasing Trender bags. We are selling 16% to private investors. For the team, we have allocated 20%, but flexible on lowering that up to 15% to serve our other needs, right, for launch pads and partnerships. And almost half of the allocation of the supply is towards user acquisition, basically. We have a DAO approach, as mentioned earlier, for influencers. And in a nutshell, the way it works, if you're bringing a real user that will opt in to give his data to you as an influencer, not to us, you will earn 1 token for 1 user. And this token will serve as a way we are exploring right now how to have a pool of revenue that we distribute towards our influencers. And we are working only with big influencers for this token. And to sum it up, what Trender does, we want to facilitate a smooth onboarding for brands and positioning toward the shopperverse. We want to provide every shopper with a Web3 wallet, maybe an online shopper or an offline shopper. And last but not least, we see shopping as a new gig economy, and we see shopperverse as a new vertical into the Web3 space. So sorry for the longer presentation. Thank you, and looking forward for your questions.